Life can change in an instant. For many wheelchair users, the struggle to push forward is a daily challenge.
After years of development and countless prototypes, we created Rib Grips, the revolutionary wheelchair hand rim covers with built-in ribs for ultimate grip and comfort.
No more slick surfaces, no more heat burns, just pure, reliable grip. Rib Grips, empowering you to push forward with ease. Rib Grips, get a grip on your freedom. Discover the difference. Visit ribgrips.com and use promo code GRIP today.
In a world where dreams meet reality, there exists a place where your business can flourish. That place is Shopify. Imagine having the power to craft your online store with tools that make it as easy as a gentle breeze. Whether you're an artisan of handmade wonders, a creator of digital treasures, or a curator of the latest trends, Shopify stands by your side. With its customizable templates, seamless integrations, and support that's always there, your dream store is just a heartbeat away. Join millions of visionaries around the globe and let Shopify guide you on your journey. Visit roguemedianetwork.com/Shopify. That's roguemedianetwork.com/SHOPIFY. And embark on your free trial. Shopify, where your commerce dreams come to life.
I am Rachel Ruth Tate, and this is Text Astrology. A big hello to all you folks out there listening. This is Rachel Ruth, your very own Central Texas astrologist, coming to you from the Rogue Media Network HQ, and it's time for another episode of the Text Astrology Podcast. In this installment, we are breaking down the new moon in Aquarius, happening on Saturday, January 21st, Saturday being Saturn's day, yes, at 2:54 p.m. Central Standard Time at just 1 degree of Aquarius, which is the 11th sign in the zodiac, our fixed air sign, ruled by Saturn and represented by the water bearer. Think a cloud. Oh, a fresh little dark Aquarius moon. This moon is a new one, and we get a new moon each time the apparent paths of the sun and moon cross and the two luminaries appear to conjoin. The moon absorbs and contains the energy of lived experience when it connects with the sun on a new moon. When those paths are aligned just right, we get a new moon solar eclipse, but that's not happening for us here now. Anyway, we have the sun and the moon, our vital force and our physical vessel, the sun and the moon, linking up for their regular monthly peaceful unlit siesta, a reset of short-term cycles. That's what a new moon is. But it so happens that the sun isn't particularly fond of being in Aquarius, the sun being one of two luminaries that make that moon new. More than that, the sun, which rules Leo, has its detriment or debility or difficulty in Aquarius, as the sun is all the way across the zodiac from its one home base. Leo and Aquarius are dipoles, sharing the same modality or motion. They're both fixed, sustaining, but with diametrically opposing approaches to that fixity of being. So the sun, which represents the individual animating force and spiritual sustenance, personal glow and emanation of energy, it has to instead lend itself to the Saturnian, the enforced cohesion of the social, fixed air, organized formation, collective process. And Saturn, the furthest visible planet from the sun, our icy planet, which is bound by its own rings. Saturn represents the burden or restriction of not just rings, but our social membership, the collective cost of the necessity that is our connection and relation as human beings. And in Aquarius, Saturn speaks. Literally, air element signs represent the spoken and expressed. So in Aquarius, Saturn speaks to our social accords specifically, and the covenants and agreements we make and remake that keep it all and us all arranged together within the whole of humankind. A quick aside, the sun has its fall, which is its other area of difficulty or greatest issue and expression, in Libra, cardinal air. And what this fact tells us, the discomfort of the sun in these inherently social defined signs, it's that it's most arduous to be an individual and exude your unique energy like the radiant sun in signs that are uniquely and inherently relational, like Libra and Aquarius. The self-concept is then only experienced by and through and in contact with others. There's an element of self-denial or the imperfect reflection of other people in which that can be exceptionally tricky. Personal definition and vitality being tethered to the state of interpersonal relating is more than challenging. So that aside over, moving back to the topic of our episode, the new moon, it must be noted that the moon doesn't have any inherent issue in Aquarius. No problem or power, really. And Saturn, ruler of this moon, is co-present in Aquarius and thus ruling that fixed air roost with mental strength and rules of engagement. And quite frankly, that bolsters this new moon and makes whatever transpires during this time more ultimately auspicious than it is terribly trying, no matter what actual circumstances or situations you encounter during this time. And they may get intense. Remember, Pluto, that dark planet of the underworld, the dark currents of power, the unseen. Pluto is very, very close by. It's literally only 3 degrees away at 29 degrees of Capricorn. So the dark may feel near. But I move away from Pluto because, just like the moon, at the exact time that this moon is new, lovely benefic Venus is also co-present in Aquarius. So we've got a benefic close by and is approaching a conjunction with the new moon's ruler Saturn. So this fact lends a sort of sweet quality to a new moon that may otherwise feel a bit stiff. That imminent connection of Venus and Saturn, it represents Venus's rebirth in the heart of her responsibilities and in the spirit of her collective duty. Venus, our personal benefic, should help us personally benefit. See what I did there? By whatever love, care, joy, help that we are able to offer others or to accept from others at this time, even if we don't see it or get the appreciation we deserve or feel embarrassed to be accepting help. And this connection of Venus and Saturn in Aquarius just after the new moon reminds us that we can only give what we have allowed ourselves to receive. Even inspiration from on high requires your permission to listen to it. You can only take time off if you choose to take time off. As my Saturn-heavy father says to me often, trust in God, Rachel, but row away from the rocks. If the good Lord has given you a boat and a paddle, I guess he means for us to use them. Vacation time exists specifically for us to choose to cease work. You get it. Life can only deliver us a bounty that we are willing to accept. So cherish what may seem like small kindnesses or minor improvements during this new moon time period. And expect those hard things you or we have had to do. This is a Saturn moon, the long and the hard. Expect that stubborn social shit to remain, but also expect to reach new understanding around it at a core level, because this is the last new moon we will have in Aquarius for about 30 years with ruler Saturn co-present. So concentrate on structuring your life in the most positive and practical of ways. Begin with intention. These are some new moon seeds with 3 decades of staying power trust. because Saturn will soon leave Aquarius and head into Pisces, the next sign, in March of this year. Again, not returning for 30 years. So know that there is also some energy of social fruition. There's some denouement energy afoot, even though the moon is new and typically representative of a beginning or something nascent. Think in this case, rotten fruit on a tree, dropping many viable seeds on the ground to begin again. That vibe. And I say that because whatever has been challenging us in this Aquarius sector of our charts, this new moon should speak to the imminent lightening of that load in some way, or a shifting of it, at least. And the beauty of the maturing enlightenment that Saturn in Aquarius has conferred upon you over the last 3 years in that area of your life. You may have some hard-won experience and wisdom. You may have adjusted your relational agreements to promote more harmony. You may have undergone a shift in your value structure. You may have learned who your friends really are. You may have discovered who you are in isolation. You may have taken responsibility for more than you were aware you could. You may have started to question systems and their authorities. I could go on. And for younger millennials, those natal Saturn in Aquarius kids, this has been your first Saturn return. You children of the internet grew up. Good job, us Saturn in Cap brothers and sisters. We knew you could do it. Jokes aside, this new moon will be the last lunation left before Saturn's sign change for y'all to absorb that remaining deeply Aquarian understanding that you wish to. There will be no more moons in Aquarius until Saturn exits the sign. So ask yourself, all of us, how have the last several years changed your understanding of your membership in society or your social groups? How do you currently feel about the function of our governmental and business structures, or the ones that you're a part of? What do you truly desire in the sense of how have your future hopes and dreams changed shape since the mode of socializing has so starkly shifted? We have all grown up in many ways, not just Saturn and Aquarius people, since December of 2019. We have begun to redefine our expectations and parameters, which is an Aquarian thing to do, around this new reality. And there is no stopping this program from executing. This new moon, there is only deepening resolve to maintain integrity and preserve personal sovereignty in an increasingly interconnected world. Privacy is the new publicity. This is the internet's Saturn return too, after all. Noodle on that closing factoid or the whole kit and caboodle, and let's do our horoscope downloading for each sign individually. I ask that rising signs be used for these horoscopes as the ascendant best speaks to the first house of self, but your sun or moon sign can work if that's all you got. So, this cycle for all 12 signs. Aries. Ups and downs are shared in a group. Taurus. The top of your game will keep rising. Gemini. Seeking and finding are both part of learning. Cancer. Sharing energy is as rewarding as it is risky. Leo. All that we are is combined in partnership. Virgo. Daily life can be both grand and a grind. Libra. Creativity is not limited by its intention. Scorpio. Much of responsibility is responding. Sagittarius. To express truth, one must apprehend it first. Capricorn. There is more value to a person than what they earn or have. Aquarius. To realize your strength is to test it. Pisces. You have always been alone on the inside. And let those aphoristic horoscopes turn over in your mind as we take a quick break for a word from our sponsors.
Life can change in an instant. For many wheelchair users, the struggle to push forward is a daily challenge.
After years of development and countless prototypes, we created Rib Grips, the revolutionary wheelchair hand rim covers with built-in ribs for ultimate grip and comfort.
No more slick surfaces, no more heat burns, just pure, reliable grip. Rib Grips, empowering you to push forward with ease. Rib Grips, get a grip on your freedom. Discover the difference. Visit ribgrips.com and use promo code GRIP today.
And here we are back with more of the Texas Astrology podcast. This is the part of the show featuring our top 3 major astrological transits to pay attention to over the next 2 weeks. So let's dive right on in. First transit. Uranus stations direct on Sunday, January 22nd at 5:23 p.m. Central Standard Time at 14 degrees of Taurus, making it the last of the recent planetary retrogrades to station direct. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this means every single God-blessed planet in the sky is moving forward. So we are ready to rock and roll. Speaking of rock and roll, that's what this odd blue outer planet Uranus is literally all about. Rock, shock, change, upheaval, disruption, revolution, all that new and next stuff that seems to transcend the individual and encompass the vibe of us all. And change is always happening, but revolution builds before it breaks open. Uranus takes 84 years to make its way around the zodiac, giving it about 7 years in each sign. Don't they say our taste buds change every 7 years? Now you know why. That could be Uranus changing signs and revealing new cravings. Anyway, Uranus's direct station is most notable because it indicates the true and actual direction of unfolding events and the latest happenings. When Uranus stations, it does what any planet does when it stations, and it pulls emphasis towards itself in the cosmic conversation. So for the last 3.5-ish years, Uranus has been in Taurus at 14 degrees. Uranus is now smack dab in the middle of Taurus and its journey through the fixed Earth sign ruled by Venus. It's been shaking up our oft enjoyed material things that are usually quite stable. Global climate, state sovereignty, healthcare, food supply, monetary systems, utility grids, etc. Think the severe weather of the last 3 years, the war and negotiation around country borders and borderlands that won't quit, global mandates of vaccination and prohibition of abortion-related care, the boom in modified foods like plant-based meats, the rise of cryptocurrency and the volatility of that market, the spectacular drama around ERCOT if you're in Texas and PG&E if you're in California. Uranus isn't shy. It makes sure you know it's there. How does one work with Uranus, you ask? What part of these Uranus and Taurus world changes are here to stay? Well, that's not as simple as I'd like it to be. A lot of traditional astrologers simply will not work with Uranus because we do not have old texts about it, and the function or action is not as clear per se, but that's outer planet stuff. I mean, that's just the truth. It's not visible here on Earth, so it took a long time for humans to discover it. And it represents that stuff that moves so slow it's almost imperceptible until you realize you're one of those people using the phrase good old days, and that everything is actually radically different than it used to be around you. Outer planet sign change can be like the end of an era. On an individual level, I say use this Uranus station direct in mid-Taurus to intentionally shake up some tired or outmoded things at the center of discomforts in your own life. Remember, Venus, which rules Taurus, is conjoined Saturn in Aquarius at this moment and making a square, a 90-degree angle of dynamic tension by sign. And that means new shit is needed. Dynamism begs for resolution or it literally explodes, so why not make it your firework of choice? Dine with sparkling new company or at a buzzy new place. Sprinkle spontaneity on everything this day serves up. Read something you never thought you'd read or something that lights you up. Disrupt your routine with an everyday luxury and maybe even play hooky and live it up if you can. You get it. You don't have to do any of those, but just notice what big shifts happen and open yourself up to surprise and delight. As those are the absolute enlightenment of Uranus, for sure. Second transit. Venus enters Pisces on Thursday, January 26th at 8:29 p.m. Central Standard Time, which is her own sign of exaltation or highest form of expression. Venus, our lesser or personal benefic, she who brings us the good stuff, will be exalted in Pisces for 3 weeks until she exits the mutable water sign ruled by Jupiter on February 20th. Pisces is the 12th and last sign in the zodiac. Our greater or social benefic Jupiter rules it, and Pisces is represented by the dual fish. So Venus swims with grace in those benefic waters of life. Venus in Pisces finds personal pleasure in things such as knowing the divine, being in felt and sensed connection with all things, and she delights in receiving all the wisdom that life has to offer from any source. This flavor of Venus has a heart for all and compassion that is second to none. The compassion that is an ability to feel and sense the spectrum of everything with a deep heart to hold it. Don't get me wrong, Venus in Pisces expresses her enlightenment through some relatively intense things. Just like Neptune, the great nebulizer blur of lines, is given rulership of Pisces in modern astrology. Venus here can do unconditional to the point of hazy martyrdom. She can serve and feel and hold space for until she dissolves or melts into a puddle. Her art can overcome her. Romeo and Juliet style, Joan of Arc things. Kurt Cobain is another super Piscean character, so much so he even mentions his, quote, sad little Pisces, quote, self in his own suicide note. But let's not go to those extremes. It's just good to watch out for any unusual movement and healthy boundaries during all Venus and Pisces transits. Remember that one can indeed love someone through the creation of a boundary with integrity that serves all involved and their highest good. This is not Pisces stuff, but we work on it. It's called stewardship, like parenthood, mentorship, social work. Those are a few more Piscean examples, all of those extensions of care that allow a Venus or a person's individual joy in connection to safely swim in vulnerable waters with vulnerable populations or in emotionally overwhelming situations. We may need this sweet, kind, and compassionate Venus in Pisces for some very important purpose. She will be squaring Mars, our individual motion and action, Mars, for the duration of her transit through Pisces. A square is an active angle, so we're adding more dynamism here. And to an already active planet, Mars is an active planet, and especially in mutable air Gemini. And it's been in Gemini for some time, and it will be. Translation. We are getting active with our desires, putting our words where our heart is and doing the thing that's on our heart to do with gusto, especially since Jupiter, the ruler of Pisces, is in Aries, the sign of doing it now and with energy and vim. To simplify, this Venus transit through the beautiful waters of Pisces will be asking you to physically move through things and will speak to the change you wish into existence. So love on your people actively. Be flexible enough to open to the idea of new joy. Be creative with all of your being and let the art of your life that was enfolded at birth unfold and flow from you. Don't worry, as you will have the right words. Mercury direct in Capricorn doesn't mince words and is making a sextile or 60-degree unionizing soft angle to Venus in Pisces. It's coming together. Mercury is our mouthpiece, our voice box, our computer, and it's going to make sure we are clear and direct. Capricorn is cardinal earth. As we express our spiritual, emotional, and artistic selves from that Piscean heart center, we get Capricorn words. So maybe for this transit, get yourself to a body of water, a river, a stream, a pond, a lake, an ocean, a pool, a waterfall, an ice bath, a water park, whatever. Get to the nearest waters and let them wash your soul clean. Venus in Pisces experiences the most powerful of releases in water, and we're trining the South Node in Scorpio, so let it go. Venus in Pisces also takes the loveliest sensory and spiritual pleasure in doing so. If you've wanted to take a vacation, make sure you're seeking out that H2O and watch as your soul uplifts and your spirit is invigorated by the elemental purity of water, the juice of life. And this won't be a long time transit, just 3 weeks, but we should come through the other side refreshed, inspired, feeling creative, and divinely guided as the best of Pisces is. Third transit. The sun in Aquarius squares the north and south nodes on Saturday, January 28th at 3:32 p.m. Central Standard Time from its place at 8 degrees Aquarius to 8 degrees of Taurus and Scorpio, respectively. So the lunar nodes, they are also called Rahu and Ketu, but I will call them the north and south nodes here. They are moving points that mark the ever-changing spot where the sun's apparent path and the moon's orbit meet, where the luminaries come together along the ecliptic. And though they're theoretical points, they are occasionally home to very real eclipses and represent the places where the literal threads of fate connect. The north node is the attractive end of the destiny magnet, the inevitable pull towards, and the south node is the repulsive end of that magnet, that which karma forces us to shed or push away. So now that we have got lunar nodes, let's go deeper and get to bendings. Bendings. We call these places, the locations, equidistant between the north and the south nodes, which oppose each other. So the places where the heavenly bodies exactly square those lunar nodes of fate are called the bendings, 90 degrees away from each node, right between. There are two. Since our sun, our vital force, is currently moving around the zodiac towards the north node and away from the south node, we call the location it occupies in the sky at 8 degrees of Aquarius the north bending, where fate or luck or chance begins to bend away from one thing and towards another. It's the opposite with the south bending, away from something. So since the sun is at the center of our solar system and it's our very own star, its occupation and passing of the north bending point is more significant than another body's might be. Significant enough to make it into my top 3 transits this episode. The energy of all things is literally beginning to capitulate into newness at the north bending. We are moving away from the south bending, what we don't want anymore, and closer to the north node of compulsion towards what we really do. Our focus, our energy, our expression, our sun solar stuff is on the precipice of new growth and renewed stability on the north bending. Aquarius, where the sun is, has a group orientation and an emphasis on the rules of social engagement. So on the bending, it's stuck between wanting to experience something new and positive socially, North Node in Taurus territory, and wanting to let go of something old and negative socially, South Node in Scorpio stuff. We all have novel, present-day wishes and wants that are at odds with what we thought we wanted to do in the past, right? Everybody is now and always on the edge of reconciling the two, what we used to want and what we will want, and reinvesting appropriately in the people and things that become our future. Know, too, that the sun on the karmic north bending won't let what is for us pass us by. No. There is no way to escape your fate or focus in the wrong place and miss your destiny. While the sun is here, we can be extra mentally acute and intuitive and pay attention to patterns that we see, Aquarius stuff, especially those that arise with clear, equal, and opposites, lunar nodes. Pattern recognition helps nature speak straight to you and gracefully then deliver you into what's next. And that logic saves lives. Common sense, it's called, right? It really does. We learn most of what we know from our experiences or from those related by others. And when we can see clearly, understand clearly, we can peer over that precipice and at least leap with awareness and a keen sense of what needs to and will happen. Aquarius does love its structured social interactions, its rules to govern and make those interactions safe. It likes to know what's going to happen. Just like I enjoy creating and sharing this podcast with y'all within an evergreen structure. So everything is in its place and I'm not reinventing the wheel. Aquarius is my personal 7th house. So y'all get the Astro Tea by Tried and True recipe. A recipe which now calls for us to move along and into the upcoming quality of time. The next 2 weeks following this new moon in Aquarius lunation will feel novel, karmic, demanding, engaging, and humanitarian. Which brings us into our do's and don'ts for this new moon in Aquarius syzygy. Do show up in all the ways you can and know how for yourself and others you love. Don't burn out trying to take care of or be responsible for absolutely everything or everyone. Do think positively and live in hope, no matter what challenges or problems remain on your plate. Don't keep the rose-colored glasses on for so long that you miss the issues themselves entirely. Do spend time in healthy social connection with people who improve your quality of life and you theirs. Don't neglect your inner world or personal needs because you're so concerned with others' experiences. And that wraps up this edition of the show. Inspect what you expect and let karma take care of you as we come upon the first new moon of 2023 and actually the Chinese or Lunar New Year, the first new moon. As per usual, please subscribe to rate, save, review, and share this podcast on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. It helps me more than I can express. Happy new moon in Aquarius. That's it for this episode, folks. Meet me here every full and new moon for more cosmic wisdom. For now, you can find me on Instagram at Rachel Ruth Tate and at Tex Astrology, or between the pages of my book, Meditations on Being, available on Amazon and wherever else you purchase books.
Life can change in an instant. For many wheelchair users, the struggle to push forward is a daily challenge.
After years of development and countless prototypes, we created Rib Grips, the revolutionary wheelchair hand rim covers with built-in ribs for ultimate grip and comfort.
No more slick surfaces, no more heat burns, just pure, reliable grip. Rib Grips, empowering you to push forward with ease. Rib Grips. Get a grip on your freedom. Discover the difference. Visit ribgrips.com and use promo code GRIP today.
In a world where dreams meet reality, there exists a place where your business can flourish. That place is Shopify. Imagine having the power to craft your online store with tools that make it as easy as a gentle breeze. Whether you're an artisan of handmade wonders, a creator of digital treasures, or a curator of the latest trends, Shopify stands by your side. With its customizable templates, seamless integrations, and support that's always there, your dream store is just a heartbeat away. Join millions of visionaries around the globe and let Shopify guide you on your journey. Visit roguemedianetwork.com/Shopify. That's roguemedianetwork.com/SHOPIFY. And embark on your free trial. Shopify, where your commerce dreams come to life.